I really enjoyed your piece on Connor McDavid at ESPN.com. And the money line in it is everything's on the table. The other great line in that one from one of your sources, people close to the situation telling me that McDavid is looking for a reason to stay. Show
Yeah.
me the reason to stay. Like we talked about this initially after his press conference, where he wasn't willing to commit, and there was a lot of, well, having said that, I need to take care of my family. I need to talk to blah 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 blah. We
With that being
understand that.
said, the four words
With
that
that
shook the
being
city to its
said,
core.
I know. And I agree with whomever gave you that quote, because I firmly believe that he is looking for a reason to stay. Give me a reason
Yeah.
to continue this relationship. Now this is the Oilers auditioning for Connor McDavid to sign a contract extension. This is a really interesting piece. Walk us through from your point of view what you think the more salient points are. And I would direct people to ESPN.com to read this Greg's piece on Connor McDavid. Not bullshitty clickbait, by the way. It's not bullshitty clickbait. This is like real. This is real good stuff here.
Yeah. I talked to a bunch of people around the situation, and then, obviously Connor said his piece, and then Stan Bowman said his piece after Connor said his piece. And the picture that I got was a sense that, like you said, he's looking for a reason to stay, and the reasons to stay are not just that Leon Draisaitl signed a long-term contract, which is something that you and I talked about in January.
Mm-hmm.
Others saw that reporting and felt it was bullshitty clickbait. They're clearly wrong. The entirety of the hockey media is now writing stories about McDavid's future because it wasn't guaranteed that if Leon signed, that Connor would sign, which is what I reported, and I was right. So guess it wasn't bullshitty. The thing that I wonder now is, what do they have to show him in order to get him to sign long-term? Is it a plan, going forward? Is it a plan for next season? Is it simply fixing the goaltending?
I don't think it's just for
what are
one
the
season.
things that he has to see in order
think
to feel?
He said didn't he say something along the lines of like long-term success? Like I don't think Connor
Right,
McDavid
long-term
is just
success.
interested in one and done. Like he wants to be on a consistent winner. I would still maintain you're on one right now. You just been to the Stanley Cup final two years in a row. Like you're the envy of all these other teams around the NHL.
I mean, that's Bowman's pitch. Bowman's pitch is like, you're on a winner right now, and I think it's undeniable that the team went to the Stanley Cup final consecutive seasons. The thing I find fascinating is that, one, there's clearly a debate within McDavid as to what to do, and leaving is on the table. That's just a fact. The other thing is that, obviously, like I wrote, he's got roots in Edmonton. Not only the team he was drafted with and played for 10 years, and Draisaitl's there, and Nugent Hopkins is there. His wife not only has, investment in a restaurant, but her offices for her company are 2 floors up from that restaurant in the same building. Like they've got a beautiful house. Like they've got roots there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, using the old Greg Wyshynski equation of, is his stuff there? Yes, then he'll stay. There is something to be said for his stuff being there, and he will probably stay. As fun as it would be for him to hit the open market and have all of these teams clearing the decks to sign them, I'm not saying that's impossible, but I do think that his current thinking is, I want to stay in Edmonton. Give me a reason to stay in Edmonton. Give me a reason to stay long-term in Edmonton. And so the question that becomes, Marek, is if he doesn't get the answer, would he go 4 years to stay in Edmonton as a good faith commitment to the organization, a chance to try to win a cup while he's in his prime and Leon's in his prime and Nuge is still there? Would he stay for a shorter period of time so that he could go and still cash out in his early 30s? And that's the part of this that I find really interesting.
Here's what I find interesting about this one. If there's anybody in the NHL who can just say, like, look, I want the max percentage, it's Connor McDavid, right?
Easily.
Right now they're at the mercy of what Connor's ask is. Like when they get down to actually doing this contract, it's going to be quick because it's going to be, what do you want? Just please leave us some dignity and let us
There's no negotiation.
And let us put a team together. Right. And the last time he did
Yeah.
a contract with the Edmonton Oilers and it was all done, it was McDavid that went back and said, no, you know what? Take some money off because we need to have money for Leon Draisaitl. Here's the situation too with McDavid, and this it clearly isn't lost on him. On the one hand, he wants to get paid and he deserves to get paid. No one would argue about that for 1 second. On the other hand, he knows every extra dollar he takes means it's less of an opportunity for Stan Bowman to create a winner there. Does he deserve more than Leon Draisaitl? Even though Draisaitl this year had a better season than he did? Yes, he did. Yes, he does. Clearly. How much more? How much more does he feel he deserves? How much does he want? How much does he need through all of this? Knowing that his own criteria for staying is we need to be a winner. You want Edmonton to win? Take a $10 million contract. We all know that's not going to happen. We all know that's not going to. It's not going to happen.
I mean, if it's a 1-year deal, like that's feasible. I don't think it would happen, but it could happen. The only two guarantees we know about the money is that he's not taking 19, and he's not taking any less than Leon. Like his next contract will be the richest contract from a cap hit perspective in NHL history.
Yeah,
I think the range is probably 15.5 to 19. Like anywhere in there is probably where it ends up from a cap hit perspective, considering where the numbers are going with the cap.
yeah.
But I mean, it's probably closer to 15.5 because
and then you say,
he does want to give the team the wiggle room.
Can you win with that? I don't know.
Well, you can because we have seen time and time again the Oilers get dragged to the Stanley Cup through the Stanley Cup playoffs by virtue of having two guys. You could do it when the two guys are Draisaitl and McDavid, and I think that's the difference between this and other situations where two guys, like when Taves and Kane needed a team around them to try to go to the Stanley Cup final. Like Connor and Leon just take the Oilers there themselves. As much as the supporting cast got the credit and whatever the hell we were talking about for the last 3 rounds, like at the end of the day, it's Connor and Leon. And so if those are the guys that you're paying a large percentage of your cap, that you just do it because they've shown that they can get you there.
If you enjoyed that video, and we certainly hope that you do, please hit the subscribe button right there here at Daily Faceoff. I will put this lineup up against any hockey lineup anywhere. It all gets underway at 9 o'clock Eastern with Morning Cup of Hockey. That is Johnny Lazarus. That is Colby Cohen. Then at noon, it's DFO Live. And then 3 o'clock Eastern, The Sheet. Get caught up on everything in hockey.